being on the TV, which was Time Warner Cable at the time, Follow the Flavor TV show.
Public access, right?
Yes, public access, downtown Manhattan. So, big shout outs to my Aunt Judy for allowing me to use her camera, to come up with these ideas and, tape everybody that I was filming. So my Aunt Judy, she really believed in my dream back then, and I appreciate my Aunt Judy for that. I love her with all my heart. So by having a TV show, I'm going around my hood, so Black Rob, he banging on the table, you know what I mean, rapping and everything like that. So as he rapping, I told Mad Dad and Sean, I said, let's film him. So we filming him and we exposing what Black Rob is doing. Now we in the hood, now everybody knew Black Rob from running up in the crib and robbing people and doing what they doing and stuff like that. But I seen something else in Rob that day when he was banging on the table and everything, and I was like, yo, you dope, let's film this and capture this moment, so we caught the moment and everything. So fast forward, I'm down at Uptown MCA where I was working at, and I'm in the conference room, and Puffy came in the conference room one day. I was playing it on the screen, and he was like, Playboy, who's that? And I said, oh, that's my friend Rob. So he was like, oh, he sound good, bring him down. So I brought him down to Uptown MCA. Wow. You know what I mean? So Black Rob was a part of Uptown Bad Boy for a long time. You know what I mean? Because of me being down there working for Uptown MCA for Kirk Burroughs and Sean Puffy Combs and Andre Harrell.
Rest in peace to the brother Andre.
He was being developed, and when he finally got on Bad Boy, then he was writing and he was doing a lot, you know what I mean? He ghost writ for a lot, he did his own albums and everything like that. So that's how Black Rob got down to Uptown MCA, you know what I mean? Just to keep it real, but Black Rob always told me, he was like, yo, Mel, I don't want to, speak your name, you know what I mean? Because I don't want too many people to know what's going on, because man, people will saturate you, because back then everybody would come up to you and be like, listen to my demo, hey, could you do this, this is my tape, this and that, so I got it at first I didn't like it, because I'm like, come on, I put you on and I put you in place here, you know what I mean? So shout me out on the radio, show love, because it's like getting stamped, if you put somebody on, I'm the one that put you on, so now in the verse you're supposed to help out and return the favor. So he was like, nah, Mel, we're gonna do it different, just stay in the background doing what you're doing, don't let nobody know. It's gonna be a time when the world is gonna know who you are, but just be patient, just do what you gotta do. So I try to follow that concept, you know what I mean? And I played the background, you know what I mean? And I just kept on going, we doing what we doing. I was the second manager that Black Rob had, because when I brought him down there, he had a female that was managing him, so a situation happened with them and everything like that. Kirk Burroughs called me on the phone and was like, yo, Mel, Black Rob is outrageous, he can't be controlled. Since you grew up with him, I think it's only right that you be assigned to start managing him. So I was like, wow, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? That's an opportunity for me, because I started out at Uptown as an intern, for Kirk Burroughs. And when he hired me, but I was the first paid intern. So that's the difference. Because at that time I was young, I left my house, and I was on the streets riding the train back and forth. I was in and out the club, staying in the club. So that's how I knew every single security guard that worked in the club, so I can go inside the club. So if those that don't know how I was able to get in these nightclubs at a young age, is because I knew every single owner of the place, and I knew the guards, because these are the places that I was sleeping at, you know what I mean, to get some rest, because I left my house. Now I had a home to always go to, because I had a good dad that took care of myself and my sisters, and I loved them, but I had a stepmother, and she told me, no, you're not going out, you ain't doing this, you ain't doing that. So I hated that, you know what I mean, with my stepmother, you know what I mean? And she was like, no, you ain't going out. I had a show at the Cotton Club one day. And my boy G-Man, we was in a singing group. back then, you know, and a limo was downstairs waiting for me. We was having a show at the Cotton Club. So as I'm about to leave, my stepmother was like, no, on the door, like, you ain't going nowhere, get in your room.
Wow.
You ain't gonna be no singer, you ain't doing nothing. And I started crying. I'm like, no, this is my passion. I gotta do this, you know what I mean? So I waited for her to sit on the couch and I ran out the house, and I ain't turned back ever since, you know what I mean? So leaving at the age of 13, you know, I was in this big world by myself, not knowing what was going on, but I always had substance. My dad taught me how to be strong. I took karate classes. I was in boxing. I always been in school and everything like that. So I had a good head on my shoulders, you know what I mean? From my mother and my father, and when my mother, she left, and my father was there to take care of myself and my sisters, you know, then it was just us. But then when I left, I was on my own in this big world, just exploring the land, you know what I mean? Just get myself into everything and anything. So, you know, I'm gonna save the rest for my documentary so y'all really understand why I do the things that I do and who I am. That's it, you know what I mean? Cheer to cheer. This is Mel Love, Link to Link, the movement you wanna move with, the outlet, all the plugs come to me, and you're watching Posse TV. Cheer.